Let's be reasonable. If it could be done, somebody else would have already done it. A reasonable person adapts to the world, not the other way around. It's common sense. But what about uncommon sense? What does a reasonable dream look like? There's nothing reasonable about standing against impossible odds. A reasonable person knows to stop when everyone tells them they're breaking the rules. Play the game. You can't do that. A reasonable person knows you can't change a system that's 100 years old. This is just the way things are. A reasonable person knows that some people are beyond our help. There's nothing we can do. We've got enough problems. A reasonable person knows how to fit the mold of who everyone else wants them to be. Who do you want to be? What if the most unreasonable thing you can do is to give up on finding the answer to that question? Because all dreams are unreasonable until you make them a reality.
Welcome to the first annual ChorderCon. I'm Riley Keene, the CEO of ChorderCon, and we have some unbelievably incredible announcements to share with you all today. Let's start with a recap of the past year. In 2023, we shipped 2 brand new products. As many of you know, the ChorderCon X, which was 1,000% funded on Kickstarter less than a year ago, has been shipped out this summer to thousands of people all around the world. That is the mission of ChorderCon, to get the whole world typing at the speed of thought. We believe in pursuing digital fluency the same way that we pursue fluency in any other language. Imagine if I gave this presentation one letter at a time. T-H-I-S space I-S space S-L-O-W. That probably sounds ridiculous. However, that is the standard in human-computer interaction. And it has been pretty much since the typewriter was invented. The feeling of being able to stream your thoughts and have true digital fluency with a machine is absolutely incredible, and it's unlike anything else you can ever experience. That is what it means to type at the speed of thought. But don't take my word for it. At this time, I'd like to call out our Chief Communications Officer, Adan Arriaga, to share some stories from our early adopters.
Thank you, Riley. It has been an incredible launch thus far. From being featured at CES as the top new and noteworthy product, to most recently, the top adaptive keyboard by USA Today. We are honored to be here today, but we want to give a shout out to our community, those who have been here to support us from the beginning, to help us build the company from the ground up. They have titled and declared the ChorderCon 1 as the greatest data input device that they have ever used. We just want to say thank you to our community, those that continue to drive us forward every day and allow us to create products that are useful and help improve people's quality of life. And for that reason, we have created what's called the Hypercerebral certification. This certification recognizes those that have achieved the milestone of typing above 250 words per minute so that we can celebrate those that have achieved these accomplishments. And with that, I'll pass it back over to Riley.
Thank you, Adan. Well said. We've only scratched the surface of what is possible to accomplish with intelligent peripherals. So, what all is possible? We finally came to the conclusion that the best way to show other entrepreneurs and other businesses how to best use this technology is to lead by example. There's been a lot of speculation today that ChorderCon is going to be releasing a brand new product, and I want to go ahead and set expectations that that is not what's happening. ChorderCon will not be launching a new product, but rather we will be launching an entire new product ecosystem under our first subsidiary brand. Introducing Forge. What does it mean to have a keyboard built for you? Answering that question is the mission of the Forge brand: to build a keyboard that's as unique as you are. And today, we're going to build a keyboard together. But before we do that, I have to introduce to you the 4 constituent parts of every Forge interface. The first is referred to as an anchor. Put any number of anchors together, and you have the foundation of your Forge interface. Okay, well, this still looks fairly standard, a little bit boring. Let's go ahead and introduce the second of 4 constituent parts of a Forge interface. This is called the bolt-on. We'll start by introducing some relatively simple bolt-ons onto our keyboard. Here we have a programmable key cluster. We have some electromechanical connectors. We have an OLED display, as well as a phone mount or hand cam mount. Every Forge anchor features an aluminum dovetail cladded frame with 3 USB-C outlets, so you can seamlessly connect to any of your other anchors in your loadout, as well as any number of bolt-ons. I want to make sure to reiterate this. These are not snap-ons. These are not clip-ons. These are bolt-ons. This is aerospace-grade aluminum mechanically fastened by tool steel. Regardless of whether you want to have a decentralized command center covering your entire desk, or if you want to have all your Forge elements securely fastened together as a seamless monolith, you can gear up knowing your one-of-a-kind loadout is tactically secure and always ready to engage. Forge evolves to your touch so that you can wield it as a true extension of yourself. Just like you, Forge has unlimited potential, both inside and out. And if you thought that our aluminum cladded frame was overkill, wait until you see our key plate that is made out of solid steel. That makes it an excellent ergonomic tinting keyboard. So I don't know why this phenomenon exists, but for some reason, every tinting keyboard on the market pretty much follows the same design as the iconic discount hotel pool chair. Let's attach some ergo bolt-ons onto the outside of our keyboard. The Forge's tinting mechanism is much simpler and much more effective. It's not limited to a fixed number of angles, and you don't have to choose between positive or negative slope. Your adjustments don't even need to be made along any singular axis. Simply twist the threaded rod with precision control to achieve your ideal combination of both slope and tint in 3-dimensional space. Forge allows up to 45 degrees of pitch in any direction. For more extreme setups, it uses a standard threaded rod that you can buy at any hardware store. This is one of the things that we love the most about Forge Keyboard. It's designed with our community in mind, and we fully expect and anticipate that our community will create their own bolt-ons, as well as even their own anchors and their own keycaps. Speaking of keycaps, that's a great transition to the third constituent element of every Forge interface. Have you ever noticed that pretty much all of the big keyboard companies love to talk about how they only use the highest quality materials in their products? However, then they turn around and they mold the only part of the keyboard that you actually touch out of one of the cheapest materials known to man. Most people don't even know what PBT stands for. So PBT is a semi-crystalline polymer that if you break it down into its 3 core molecular components, this scientific notation translates to plastic is bad to touch. But in all seriousness, if somebody tried to sell you a car with a plastic steering wheel, would you buy it? The average person spends 7 times more time per day on their keyboard than their car. We believe that if you're going to build a quality product, it starts with the materials that you choose. And it starts at your fingertips. With Forge, we've not only reinvented the keyboard, we've also reinvented the keycap. Our custom-designed embed allows for the caps to be mass manufactured and machined very efficiently out of virtually any machinable material. It doubles as both a mechanical fastener as well as a light diffuser. All the keys that you see here feature a custom font specifically designed to be efficient, beautiful, and material agnostic for machine engraving. We tested all the best keycaps on the market, and this simple design is the one that we decided to launch with Forge. Not only is it slim, sleek, and modern, but it also features edge tolerances that make it absolutely fantastic for both character entry as well as chorded text entry. Speaking of chorded text entry, that is our final transition to the fourth and most exciting part of every Forge interface. I'm pleased to share with you today something that is the culmination of almost a decade of work from our team. And I'm going to give the honor to our Chief Technology Officer, Matthew Swartz, to come out and present the world's first ChorderCon engine core.
Thank you, Riley. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the ChorderCon engine core. It is a tokenized version of our ChorderCon engine that allows for any peripheral that's using this to be able to have chorded entry, but also be part of the modular ecosystem within the Forge. A lot of this modularity came from the automotive industry that has really reliable and resilient communication systems. So we took some of those, brought it in, and it's not something that's trivial to implement. And it's not really something that's really seen in the keyboard world. It attaches magnetically to the bottom of the Forge anchors. It is waterproof, it is wearable, and it runs on CCOS. The Platinum version of this one has over 1 million chord map memory locations, which is 10 times more than any of the offerings that we currently have across our devices. Now, CCOS also has some other features as well that you may be familiar with. There is the software agnostic fluid chorded character entry, the impulse chording, advanced arpeggiates, generative text menus. And if you're not familiar with some of those, you could take a look at our video on YouTube, A Brief History of Chording. Now, with CCOS, we've also been preparing it to work with the Forge ecosystem, in particular the modularity. Some of the more advanced bolt-ons in the Forge ecosystem have some additional capabilities for providing wireless capabilities, being battery powered, and essentially running without a host operating system, which kind of blurs the lines between what's a computer and what's a peripheral. Now, to talk a bit more about CCOS-powered devices and how you can manage them, I'll bring on Alan.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, ChorderCon! I'm Alan, and I'm ChorderCon's Communications Manager. As such, it is my pleasure on behalf of the entire ChorderCon team to introduce to you the brand new ChorderCon Device Manager. On it, not only will you be able to create and store local backups, but you'll also be able to quickly search through and edit your chords right on the screen. Additionally, you'll still be able to import and export your chord libraries at the click of a button. We've also taken a cue from you guys, our community, and we've created a beautiful and easy to use layout editor. On this layout editor, you'll be able to manage your ChorderCon or CCOS powered devices layout with a simple to use graphical interface. With it, you'll be able to use the brand new search box in order to search through hundreds of CCOS action codes. Now, if you're like me and you had no idea what an action code was before hearing the term, don't worry, I got you. An action code is simply fancy speak for letters, numbers, and other characters and assignable keys that can be programmed to each of the ChorderCon's switch directions as well as chord outputs. This is all possible through the web serial interface that ChorderCon devices use. And you'll be able to see how beautifully maintained this website is, not only on the front end, but in the back end, where there's a lot happening and a lot going on, which helps the website run fluidly. We want to give a huge thank you to Taya from the Discord community for her extensive help in developing this wonderful web tool. We thank you and we hope that you'll enjoy using the brand new manager.chorder.com as much as we've enjoyed making it for you. Now, you might be wondering, when is this device manager going to be available? It's available today. Yes, you can go ahead and configure your CCOS devices on your computers right now if you log on to manager.chorder.com. Now, with that, I'll hand it over to our CFO, Monica Keene.
We are are excited to announce that starting today, you can officially order your very own Forge keyboard from our website, forgekeyboard.com. To thank you for celebrating the launch of Forge with us at ChorderCon, every single bundle on our site is marked down 50% for the next 30 days. This is the only time the Forge keyboard will be available at these prices. Starting out, there are 4 bundles. The first, the Basic Forge, the Coder's Forge, the Gamer's Forge, and the Typer's Forge. All of these bundles are scheduled for shipping in May 2024. In order to claim this deal, simply go to forgekeyboard.com and click on the banner on top of our site to choose your bundle. As former crowdfunding veterans, we also had the idea of bringing over the fun of gold-based rewards on our site without any of the risk attached. Introducing Forge Unlockables. With Unlockables, every order placed across our entire website goes towards funding the Forge ecosystem. The idea of this is to help us work more closely with our community to create public development targets based on tangible funding milestones. Help us stay accountable to those targets and make sure that our community voice is always heard. With every goal that is hit, we deliver on the reward, then reveal a new, more ambitious goal to follow. It could be a new bolt-on, add-on, an anchor, or any new feature for the engine core. Nothing is off-limit. Unlike crowdfunding sites, there are no time limit when it comes to Forge Unlockables, and we have no intention of ever stopping them. Just like you, Forge has infinite potential inside and out, and there is no limit how far we can take this together. We hope you will become a backer so we can ship you a Forge keyboard very soon.
On behalf of the ChorderCon team, I want to thank you all for coming to celebrate the first annual ChorderCon. A lot of you guys are probably wondering about what unlockables will be revealed next. Well, we don't have time to get into all that today, so we're just going to go ahead and end ChorderCon. Peace. Where's my CC1 gang at? The last thing that we're going to leave you with today has been called the epitome of digital mastery. While this is true, once you wield it yourself, you will understand that it is much more than that. It is also the epitome of mastering yourself. When the world's greatest keyboard is no longer enough, you're ready for the Master's Forge.
30 years you've been dragging your feet, telling me I'm the reason we're stagnant. 30 years you've been claiming you're honest and promising progress. Well, where is it at? I don't want you to feel like a failure. I know this hurts, but I gave you your chance to deliver. Now it's my turn. Don't get me wrong, nature had a great run, but it's time to give the people something different. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my album. Hope. What's my definition of success? Listening to what your heart says, standing up for what you know is right while everybody else is tucking their tail between their legs. What's my definition of success? Creating something no one else can.